Hello. Today we're on the book tour for this really lovely but slightly unusual book called Crikey. How did that happen? You have to say it in a certain voice for it to make sense. And it's an autobiography, I suppose, of Bertram Wooster. So those of you who are P.G. Wodehouse fans, as I am, will probably have read all of the Jeeves and Wooster books because they're so beautiful to read. And so I have to admit to being slightly nervous about reading this because I love them so much. And I'm a child of the Fry and Laurie era, so I also love the TV series that they did. So I have a great fondness for Bertie Wooster, and I was unsure how this book would go, but it's just delightful. It's completely in keeping with the kind of the sort of feel of Bertie. He resonates completely. I think Wodehouse would be more than happy with it. Wodehouse appears in it, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting. And it's a look at the whole of Bertie's life. So we sort of hit him every 7-year intervals. So there's this snippets, really, just little moments of his life. And I was getting quite worried at the end that he was going to die. But actually I probably shouldn't tell you this, but that doesn't happen. We kind of leave him in retirement, in this blissful retirement, which is wonderful. So it goes right up to 1970, so he's quite a grand old age really by then. And as I say, it's just a lovely, thoughtful and warm, there's great humour and tenderness. There's a real love for Bertie, and getting in the soup all the time. It has all the kind of Wodehouse humour, but it's very interesting because it's looked at what might have happened to someone from this period, sort of very privileged, but had actually had quite an unusual life. So he's orphaned very young, and he finds family within school, and later within college, and later within the drones. And I just found it really touching, actually. It's really fun. It is also humorous, he gets into all these ridiculous scrapes. There's all kinds of historical figures thrown in there. But it all seems completely plausible because of who Wooster is. We can quite imagine that he would rub along with Mussolini, or he would rub along with whoever, because he's just this really affable character. Jeeves appears fleetingly. He's not a main character by any means. And if you're used to the Jeeves and Wooster books where they are, a real double act, that isn't here. Jeeves is important, but he's not a main character. So it's slightly different. It's very much more about Bertie and his life. And it's lovely. It's a really pleasant read. It's funny and kind, and I think if you enjoy Wodehouse and his style of writing, and if you've always wondered what happens to Bertie, how Bertie could ever survive in the world without Jeeves, then you will find out how he manages it. I think perhaps he's not quite the buffoon that he's made out to be. I think possibly he does have hidden depths, or maybe he's just the luckiest man alive. It's hard to tell, but it's a lovely book and you'll definitely enjoy it.